Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Joe here with me, my co-host Dan,
Hello and greetings.
and we've not gotten tired of controversy, so here's another review of The Chosen. This time, episode 3 and 4, and this is going to be the biggest shock to everyone. Episode 3 is kind of tedious.
I didn't mind for a while the story between Jesus and the children.
I just wonder what the point is narratively. Like, I know that there's a whole thing with Jesus, let the children come to me, which is a good story, and it's a very important lesson. But no, the problem is you could have established some of the ideas in there within the first few minutes of episode 3, which they did, and then they just went on and stretched it, and then just abruptly ended at the 30-minute mark thereabouts, so that you're just left kind of going, okay, I guess.
The story of the children could have been condensed.
Yeah, but they should have attached it to episode 4 direct and just turned that into an overall episode.
I agree.
That said, episode 4, we now have or at least I have a weird complaint to make. Quintus seems too much like a Dr. Wily cartoon villain. Just give him a mustache and let him twirl, because that's all he's doing at this point. He's just talking about his evil maniacal plans and whatnot, and speaking in too many anachronistic ways, such as speaking of machines, which I didn't know a 21st century man had slipped into the past and gone on to become a Roman magistrate. That seems a little interesting.
And that is something that the staff in
The production staff should have paid attention to.
Paid attention, and the screenwriter should have...
Yeah. The other thing is, when it comes to evil characters, you can add layers to them. Now, I'm not wanting moral relativism. No, let him be completely evil. But, show his family and then show him being evil to them. The reason being, we see just how deep it runs or something. You either lean even more in, but you stop it with the cartoonishness and you turn him more into just a pure monster, or you lean away. And I know it's weird to say they should lean even more into the evil, but it's just the cartoon monologuing, like Dr. Wily or Syndrome from The Incredibles, is just...
It gets tedious.
Yeah, it's weird. That said, the fact that he's bros with Matthew is so weird. But that aside, the other problem with this episode is, once again, the kind of female writing. Now, Mary Magdalene, getting past the issue of what they decide to make her, despite the fact that they know that's a lie, at least she's not, even when she's possessed, she doesn't seem half as crazy at one point as Pial's wife, who, that part of episode 4 is just, she gets angry at Pial for I think initially gambling, then it carries over into her being enraged that he was going out working during holy days to pay for his gambling debts, because he thought, well, I'm never gonna, basically the Romans had the attitude, you're working, get to work. Otherwise, you're sold into slavery because we got our boot on your throat. So Pial decided, yeah, okay. And I'm going to be a man, and I'm going to own up to what I've done, and I will basically just go out and work even on holy days, because he had to put food on the table. And there's something great in the Pillars of the Earth book about how at one point Philip catches youths just making fun of an older priest and just generally playing around, and Philip tells them that you do not have the luxury to play the fool in church during Mass. You will behave, because there are those who would love to attend but have to toil in the fields and earn their bread, and they do not have the same luxuries as us. So the least you can do is pay attention and be good during Mass, because you're only being asked to work 1 hour on Sunday. There are people who are working their butts off, killing themselves, just to put food on the table, even though it's a holy day. And we tax them, and they're basically paying for you to get by. So a little respect. Now, my point here is that Piao's wife is so overwhelmingly shocked and enraged that her husband's been working holy days, but it's not like she's working either. So it's one of those things where, okay, honey, but you're not working. You're getting by on his blood, sweat, and tears. Either you go get a job, or... But the thing, yeah, I know there were very few jobs back then for women. But the thing is, she's very hysterical in this episode. No, she just gets completely hysterical at one point. So it's hard to sympathize with her. On the other hand, her behavior is very incomprehensible. She's basically a blubbering mess. So I just found myself just kind of like, this is what abuse was invented for, to cure. I'm joking. No, I'm joking. Shouldn't go there.
The one thing I can understand with what she's saying is that she's commenting on how Simon has lost his faith.
Yeah, but on the other hand, he's told her, I have to go out and work. Technically he didn't really, but he's just trying to tell her, I have to work on holy days and on the Sabbath, because if I don't,
who will?
Yeah. And yeah, she's mostly angry at him for losing his faith. He's being practical. It's not about loss of faith in reality. It's about he has no other choice. She might have the luxury of taking the day off. He doesn't. So in this regard, I really do take his side. And I find her arguments incomprehensible and a mess. But her arguments are emotionally driven. She's not looking at the bare facts of the situation in any way. Even on a spiritual level, she's not looking at the bare facts of the matter. But in terms of the religious beliefs of the time period, they would have regarded her as being in the right. And that's where there's a clear division between the two. And she's also pregnant, so that's another argument for why she can't work. So I think she's pregnant, but it's the thing is, this means she can't really work. So it means the burden's more on Piao and Andrew to bring in the bread, bring in the fish. Otherwise, wow, you're starving. That's why, arguably, the Sabbath never made much sense as a practice, because the peasants never could take the day off. I'm just being honest. Now, honoring the seventh day, or at least one day of the week and getting a break, I always took it as that's what that lesson's about. Take a break, take a breather. You got to get one day off from work to some extent. But the trouble is, in ancient times, nobody had that luxury except the nobility and the upper classes and the odd merchant clan that's middle class. So in that regard, yeah. That being said, narratively, the argument between husband and wife could have been better arranged and set up. Like I said, I found it incomprehensible for the most part. But then again, I've been in the position where, I'm logic driven, and I have the other person blubbering, and I'm left utterly flabbergasted and unable to understand.
Her writing could have been far better.
But on the other hand,
keep aspects of her point of view, but rewrite the screenwriting.
A little, but on the other hand, I have to concede that at the time they would have been that religious. So, well, not religious, but that obsessive about the detail of, you worked on the Sabbath? How dare you? You could cheat on me, you could gamble, but you jerk! How dare you work on the seventh day? But honey, I'm about to be sold into slavery. Yeah, but don't you work on the seventh day?
You could sell yourself into slavery tomorrow.
Yeah. So that's generally the attitude of the time period. So I will give the writing staff credit for that one. Now, give credit where it's due. But it's really when Jesus comes into the scene that things really go well. Well, no, wait. When Piao is on the boat, freaking out, throwing everything he's got in desperation, where he's raging, he's weeping, he's praying, and he's just destroying his entire being, trying to catch fish. That scene is one of the best shot scenes I've seen in any televised series in years. The writing there, perfect. The acting, perfect. The direction, perfect.
I've seen this story being portrayed on screen, but this is by far the best.
But they've never portrayed it as, they've never portrayed Piao as a guy down on his luck and about to basically be destroyed the night before. They never do that. No one's ever done it that way. That's my point. This sort of scene has never been shot. The scene of Jesus getting on the boat and giving the parable has been shot, we've all seen it a million times, whether through reading the Bible or through standing on the boat on a TV show or a movie. But my point is the scene with Piao, where he's basically throwing everything he's got at the waters. That we've never seen before.
Yes, very beautiful scene.
Yeah. There are previous criticism about episode 2 and the way the music was not used. Okay, fair enough. This scene actually used it perfectly. Now, narratively, there are times when they make things too easy for the characters, which is such as how later the old man basically tells John and James, "Oh, go ahead, go follow him. I don't mind you going off on a 3-year journey to establish a new religion. Go ahead, sons. I'll go deal with Peter's tab." Okay, no, you gotta add a bit of drama, a bit of conflict, and whatnot. Why? Otherwise, it's boring. But on the other hand, what is not boring is Jesus' first appearance in this episode, which is hilarious. And it's everything... Weirdly, it's everything I wanted in the first appearance. So I actually think that if they had just deleted him from every other episode except the end of episode 1 and not put in that it was Mary, who was the lady of the night, other than them insulting Mary of Magdalene because, Gregory the First. Other than that, if they had removed him from episode 2, arguably episode 2 would be better. Episode 3, maybe if they had taken some of the ideas in there and put it after episode 4, and you have the introduction of, he is Jesus, or even if you don't even say that it's him, and you just have this entire scene, there's not one person in the West, I think, who won't go, I know who that is. You don't even need him to say his name, because, the story with the fish, with Simon and Andrew. Because honestly, that's one of the best stories in the Bible. It is. It's a fun story. And it's a fascinating one. It's so fascinating. And I like how he asks, "Can I stand on your boat?" And, now Andrew's writing is very terrible in this episode because they should not have had him be a cheerleader for Jesus. Maybe if they had had him doubting as much as Piao, it would add more impact to the scene with him maybe actually being swept up by Jesus' charisma, where you show the charisma of the Messiah, where he's going, "Can I come on your boat?" And there's some electricity there. And I think this actor of Jesus could do it. It's just the writing is deliberately not good here, I think. And I'm saying deliberately because what writer would screw up this badly? And Andrew, if he had been like, "Yeah, no," at first, where he's like, some guys are talking about how the Messiah's in town. Screw them. They're idiots. Then here you have him just go, "Listen to him, Peter." And you have Piao. What? But you... Yeah, where you get to see the charisma, just the raw essence of Jesus there, in a way. It is possible to do scenes like that. And the Andrew actor and the Jesus actor could have pulled it off. Now, once he's on the boat, though, and giving the parable, okay, yeah. But the best part is the end of the scene. Because this... Okay, we've seen the cracking fishing nets scene anyone who's raised Christian will have seen this on TV at least at once point, or seen pictures of it. But nowhere has it ever been so well portrayed. Like, I will actually praise this scene. I actually really like it. I like that they don't really have too much dialogue. It's mostly music, and how you've got the two men just. I just like how Piao just tosses the net and gives a, see, nothing happened. Kind of look to Jesus, and you have Jesus just smiling like, okay, sure. Then just seems to almost wink at him. The fish then start, pulling at the boat, and Piao's nearly knocked over. And then you have Jesus just laughing at him, like, ha ha, I got you, neener, neener, neener. That was the best part of this. Just his mirth and his... It's almost him just going, in your face, Peter. Just him going, in your face, Piao, in your face.
And
the humor's good.
Because we've never seen the this human part of Jesus who...
Yeah, in every movie and show I've seen there's always just him going either mopey, or they just end up going, like, the actors just portray him robotically or really badly. They just don't measure up. And yeah, but here the portrayal is really good. And the thing with Angel Studios is they have a habit of being heavy-handed, I've noticed, with their messaging and whatnot, which I don't like it either way. But when it comes to having an angle, to an extent, in what you want in a story. I want the story to tell the story and leave the messaging to the story. But on the other hand, Angel Studios, when it comes to Piao, the one centurion Jesus, generally the writing is rock solid. Even Matthew had quite a few points. So they are capable when they put their minds to it. So, yeah. But even the I will make you, what was it? Fishers of men. That bit is well done. Like I said, the humor and the good-natured spirit of it is pretty good. And I like how you have Piao at the end getting a little greedy and going, maybe we could get back on the boat and we could do this again, and I could, we could make a lot more money. And you have Jesus, I didn't come here to make money. He's basically like, bucko, no. You will not use God to make a mint. It's funny. But then the way he says, like, I will make you fishers of men, is very significant and whatnot. So I do like that. So the actor is quite good. Like, when it came to the casting director who found this guy to portray Jesus, should get a medal. Like, good casting.
And one thing I do like is that, yes, he brings out an aspect of the charisma of Jesus. But there's one thing that a lot of speakers do need to seem relatable, and that's that sense of humor.
Yeah, that good-naturedness.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the other hand, I think that, like I said, the child episode just narratively, more than half of it was superfluous. So when it comes to the rating, I'm going to say, I guess, a 1 star.
For episode 3, 1 3/4.
I don't think it's that good.
Had they slimmed it down quite a bit.
Yeah. And broken up part of episode 4 and mixed it with this one. Or something. Yeah. Episode 4... Okay, I'm actually going to say that episode 4, and I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth, I'm going to say a 2.5. It's an above average episode. It's a good episode.
I will, with how well it's been done with Matthew and Simon, I will have to say 3.
No. But remember, there's also the Piao's wife and the
That-
Quintus cartoon villainy.
That's what brings it down a little.
Yeah, but between 0 and 4 to say 3, I think is just so. But then again, on the other hand, there's that great scene with Piao during the night, and
That's
and,
what
and the
sells
scene
it.
with Jesus. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what sells
Okay. But on the other hand, overall, this is a really good episode. Let's see if they could keep the forward momentum. Honestly, this is actually an episode which I would argue it's more enjoyable than some Rome episodes. And I'm having a hard time believing that and whatnot. But I have to accept, yeah, this is better than some Rome episodes. Rome was a great series, but there was 1 or 2 episodes which were a little irritating, mostly involving Octavia. But here, wow, like this was a really, really good episode. So anyone who kind of was like, oh, you're hating on this for no reason. No, actually, we just have high standards for TV series because the other factor is that you're telling what some call the greatest story ever told in the West or in the world, and you have Butterfingers. So, you know, if we expect a lot, it's because it's supposed to be a great story. And The Chosen gets a lot of praise from a lot of people, religious and non-religious. So I just expect it to be up to snuff. But that said, this episode's done a lot of good, and let's hope episodes 5 and 6, I think, hold up. So yeah, if you enjoyed this episode and you want to stay tuned for more, don't forget to smash that like and that subscribe button.